Plastics are bad. Let's replace plastic materials. We hear similar strong statements every day. I don't blame the public for being confused about who is the villain and who is the victim. Plastic is usually considered the villain. The pressure on polymer manufacturers is bigger than ever, forcing large but also small companies such as Delta Q with only 35 employees to consider its environmental impact and have a sustainability strategy in place. But where to start? I'm sure you know the feeling when one is overwhelmed. If they see something spectacular, something they have difficulty comprehending, like the universe, the pyramids, or the topic of the day, sustainability. I know I was overwhelmed back in May when I talked with the management about sustainability and where our company should focus in the future. But how do you structure something as broad as sustainability? There is no clear guide for small companies such as Delta Q. Previously, I was responsible for research and development, and most of the solutions were driven by cost and customer demand. The move from R&D to sustainability required a completely different approach. Perhaps the month off when I cycled from Ireland to the Czech Republic helped me to gain new perspective and tackle the topic in a correct way. Since May, we have made tremendous progress here at Delta Q. We are now finishing preparations for ISO 14001 audit in December. We are raising awareness among the staff, reviewing our process efficiency and eco-design. We join many national and international organizations, and we are aware of our greenhouse gas emissions. On top of everything, the company was able to build new strong partnerships with other Irish polymer companies. As I found out during the project, sustainability requires strong leadership, commitment from management, and engagement of all employees. It also requires significant investment to kick off the transition right. On the other hand, if the project is done properly, the initial investment is quickly paid back, not just in terms of money, but in the employees' well-being also. Demonstrating the change at Delta Q is Managing Director Kevin Sheridan, who recently stated, "I now understand that sustainability is not just about compliance, it is about how to run the business correctly." Delta Q has changed, and so have I, because of this sustainability Speechcraft program. So I thank you to the Speechcraft organizers. And
how do we reimagine public space and encourage more people to walk and cycle for a more sustainable future? Our mission is getting people out of cars and onto their bikes. We have designed a floating cycleway, a cycling greenway using interconnecting pontoons to rise and fall with the tides. Our solution increases cycling safety, improves air quality by reducing emissions, and adapts to rising sea levels. And because a picture is worth 100 words, and animation 1,000 frames, here's a short snippet of our animation on the River Clyde in Glasgow, thanks to Soluis. So you may ask, why is there such an urgency to decongest cities and to decarbonise our transport systems? With COP27 in focus, the science is telling us we are crossing our natural feedback loops. This means that sea level rise is accelerating far more quickly than ever predicted by scientists due to the melting of the world's ice caps. The UN reports that more than 40% of the world's population live on coasts, mostly in cities, and 90% of the world's urban areas are at high risk of climate impact. So we believe that to tackle the climate crisis, we require ambitious creativity, imagination, transformational approaches to circular design. To create a more circular economy, we have been exploring the use of recycled polymer waste to manufacture our pontoons. Our manufacturing model enables cities to both generate revenues and reuse waste, recycle and regenerate. Our customers are progressive cities, local authorities and NGOs who wish to decongest, decarbonise and adapt to climate change. So with a plug and play approach, it may be scaled and customised to cities globally. Join us in our mission to create floating as a service for a more sustainable future. Please do get in touch with us at rivercyclewayeurope.com. Thank you.
Is plastics really that bad? Is plastic really that bad? Plastic has been given a social stigma over the years for its misuse, but we ourselves are to blame. Who doesn't use plastic on a daily basis? I'm going to give you 3 reasons why plastic isn't really that bad. Water. I'm sure many of us would like to drink a refreshing, clean water from our taps. The only known material that can guarantee you this, even when it is aging, is plastic. Plastic is the current industry standard material that is used for water mains. When compared to other materials like copper, lead, and concrete, plastic stands taller than them all. Plastic in sports. Plastic has literally become a game changer in sports, pun intended, and has been the driving force behind sports safety and performance. Think about the equipment athletes use to protect them and enhance themselves. What does it all have in common? It's all made from plastic. Modern sports gear evolved as sports evolved, allowing athletes to push themselves harder. Plastics have complemented the performance while mitigating injury. Plastics are essential in the medical industry. They have cut down costs while simultaneously enhancing quality. Plastic use in medical devices have led to fewer infections, more comfort, and increased safety for the patients. To conclude, plastic has become an essential part of our life. And I hope you can view plastic as a friend and not a foe, because plastic isn't really that bad. Thank you.
Plastic is not a dirty word. Plastic is not the problem. We are. 8 million pieces of plastic pollution find their way into our ocean daily. 79% of plastic waste is sent to landfills or the ocean, while only 9% is recycled. My name is Emer Kermit, and I'm a business development executive for Novoplast. We're an Irish startup company based in County Meath in Ireland. The circular economy and sustainability are at the core of our company and in everything we do. Starting production in September 2019, Novoplast have went from strength to strength. Novoplast takes thousands of tons of unusable PET materials that were bound for landfills each year and create a recycled PET pellet. We use a unique blend of recycled PET materials to create products for the food packaging and fibre industry. We also provide a tolling service by which we take our customers' production byproduct, reprocess it, and increase the quality of the pellet. This is then sent back to the customer for further use in their process. This has become increasingly popular in recent times as clients are seeing the monetary value in their waste materials. There is a value proposition to our products. EU regulation now states that there must be a certain percentage of recycled content in a product manufactured from plastic, or the company will be subject to tax on their product. This has had a very positive impact on our company and the recycling world. Single-use water cartons are among the many packaging alternatives being brought out to try to eliminate plastic. What the consumer is not aware of is that the layer on the inside of the cartons makes them much harder to recycle than a regular PET water bottle. Plastic is the best option if disposed of correctly. At Novoplast, one of our main input materials to manufacture for other industries is PET water bottles broken down into flake. If we become more educated on plastic recycling, we can change the world little by little together. Thank you.
So indeed, will an extended producer responsibility scheme work for fishing gear? And we are trying and we are building it. But fundamentally, it's about waste management. Waste management is doing the right thing with the things that we're finished with. You put your food scraps in the compost bin. You put your washed out rigid plastic containers in the recycling. But what about the things that are a little bit more hard and they're more difficult to look after at the end of its life, like fishing gear? If they're not disposed of properly, will they damage the environment? And are they a lost resource to the circular economy? One way to improve waste management is to include the producer and the sellers into what happens after it's used. You have to extend their responsibility and think further. The company that makes the wash machine, the garage that sells you your burst tire and replaces a tire in your car, the net maker who designs a net. What happens after? Products that are difficult to dispose of need careful attention, so they're not dumped up a mountain path, or they're left behind that shed at the bottom of the garden for years, leaking into the groundwater at the back of your house, or they're not dumped at the bottom of the ocean. We need a system. We need specialist services. We need incentives. This can be done by extending the responsibility of all interested parties. Some of those are easily included, like the producer and the seller, but we also need to incentivize and extend that responsibility to the user. They're part of the circle, they're part of the return, they're part of the loop. An extended producer responsibility scheme is a compliance scheme, collaborative compliance, where the diverse members of who touch that product are drawn together, be it the toaster, the tire, or even the fishing gear. But they need to work together and reduce that environmental impact of their product, their sector, their future. Complying brings new ideas, solutions, and common ambition. Complying can bring security of that level playing field. And it needs a village, it needs an army, it needs you. Does this product have an end-of-life plan? Do I bring it back? Where do I bring it back? Do they recycle it safely? Is the seller part of a compliance scheme? Should the user be officially part of that extended producer responsibility scheme? These are now questions for fishing gear suppliers and fishers as we look to include these plastics into the circular economy and form an extended producer responsibility scheme. We're all in the same storm of sustainability and the circular economy, but by agreeing on the rules and responsibilities of all the stakeholders of an extended producer responsibility scheme, it makes sure that we're all in the same boat. Thank you very much, Mr. Toastmaster.
Okay, so I have been paying attention to this session before this session started. What I noted was that actually the preparation for this session happened long before, it seems to me, the first session happened. So I'm just really impressed by the amount of preparation that was put into this right from the start. The fact that my first conversation about this session started before any of your sessions started, that's just so cool. The other thing that I would like to note is that all of the communications that I've seen both before today and during today have been so personal. It's been so connected with each individual person and, you know, what's important to you, what's going on for you. It's just, it's a really powerful example of really caring for the people within a community. So I feel this is my example. Next time I'm talking about what a community is like, this is what I talk about. Amazing job. So Shirley, you had me hooked from the start, and today has just been brilliant. Kavita has done an excellent job of managing quite a complex agenda and making it seem like it's just so seamless. Well, we're just going to do this next thing. It's like there are so many moving parts. It's amazing that you've done all of that. And I have felt very welcomed as a guest, as I'm sure everyone did as you spoke. Brilliant job by the MCs, again, taking care of each of your groups. And Dory, yes, taking care of the timing. Yeah, fantastic. Again, another outstanding piece of work taking care of all of this. I do think it's appropriate just to quickly say congratulations to the guides. I can't say thanks to all 39 people because I don't know who they all are, but Johannes, Marilyn, Donna, Larry, Moira, Ram, Barry, Dinesh, Ron, Shanine, Emmanuel, Anetta, Sultan, you have taken amazing care of your speech crafters. Fantastic. Just a very brief word about Lisa Marie's evaluation, very highly skilled evaluation. I always try and come up with a tip. It was a bit tricky. My only suggestion was maybe vary the tone, but I have to say I was grasping at straws because the strength of the voice, the enthusiasm and the authority all wrapped up together, and the the quality of the evaluation was really excellent. The points about purpose, absolutely fabulous. So overall, a joy to evaluate. So I have to say to you that I do love Speechcraft. I love this space where people are growing their skills, they're seeing each other, that in such a short period of time, it is so easy to see how this program can help people grow. I love running Speechcraft sessions. Just like tonight, it really did teach me to evaluate at speed. 39 people helped with this, just fantastic. So amazing. Thank you to all the Toastmasters for sharing your skills. There's a huge joy in sharing, in giving back to those, so to kind of pay it forward in thanks for what we have been given. And so much learning too. I definitely know more about sustainability as a result of today. How much more I would know if I'd actually been involved in the 6 weeks. I'd just be an expert. Anyway, what's special about this Speechcraft is this common purpose, this common passion, an international group just coming together to go deep into a topic and find voices, find ways of making the argument to persuade in a world that still needs persuading, unfortunately. I'm inspired by your passion and your purpose. Toastmasters has a purpose too. Our purpose is to make effective communication a worldwide reality. When we speak, when we listen, when we think critically to evaluate, we are not just, we're not just taking things on face value. We are listening to arguments, we are creating arguments. There is here an intertwining of Toastmasters' purpose and an environmental sustainability purpose. Listening is like an art. We're not just listening to others' words, but we're listening to oceans and trees and weather and whales and birds and butterflies and ground and the air we breathe in and that we breathe out. What we hear, what we listen to is what we care about. What we care about is what we speak about. What we speak about is what we advocate. What we advocate is what we are able to change. And this is the spirit that I see here today. So when you listen to each other, can you hear how each other has grown? This growth that can not just do good for us, but do good for the world, for all of us, the human and the more than human world. Something else that I love about Speechcraft, so many Speechcrafters get to the end and they want more. They run new Speechcrafts, they create new Toastmasters Club, they help each other grow more skills so that they can continue to have an impact on the world, not just on the thing that they're passionate about, in this case, sustainability, but in developing that voice to grow more people who are passionate and who can speak about all of this. This Speechcraft maybe begets further Speechcrafts. The community grows. Today, as you come to the end of this, there's huge potential for new beginnings. Hearing more, speaking out for those whose voices are not so clearly heard, making change happen. I hope, I know you'll keep going in sustainability and in Toastmasters too, I hope, and that I hear stories of the beginnings that emerge from today. Madam Toastmaster.